It's holiday shopping season, and that can mean holiday debt. Some tips for you to help conserve your cash. And the gift of laughter. Comedians like Tiffany Haddish gave back on Thanksgiving. Why this year's event had very special meaning for many of the guests. You're watching The Rundown. I'm Lynette Romero, in today for Robin Winston. 'Tis the season of spending, and that could mean racking up debt for some. A recent Wallet Hub survey found a quarter of Americans are still paying off holiday debt from last year. Well, experts suggest pumping the brakes on the spending if you're one of those people, because high interest rates will make it a lot more difficult to pay down that balance. Instead, they suggest you might want to make a list of things you want to buy. That way you don't have that impulse shopping. Now, if you do use your credit card, make sure you redeem those cashback points, travel credits, and gift cards. Now let's check in with meteorologist Belen De Leon, who has your post-Thanksgiving forecast.
Hi there. Well, here we are headed into the weekend with cooler temperatures. Highs are expected to be in the 60s through the weekend. The marine layer will return Saturday morning. There's a potential for some drizzle, but those skies will quickly clear. Santa Ana winds are expected to develop throughout the day on Saturday and continue through next week. Now, here's a look at the weather on Saturday, where the winds will start off calm, but slowly they're going to start to gain some strength if you live in those typical wind spots that are affected by these northeasterly winds. Here we are Saturday afternoon looking at some breezy conditions over the LA, Ventura County mountains through the Inland Empire, and that offshore flow will become stronger on Sunday. Now, these offshore winds expected to last through early next week. We have a slight warming trend. Look at Riverside, 60s on Friday, low 70s through the weekend. On Tuesday, we get to 73 degrees. Then by the middle and end of next week, cooler temperatures. There's also a chance for some rain. But in the short term, brace for those winds.
And now to a terrible family tragedy. A mother is dead and her daughter is in critical condition after a suspected DUI crash in South LA on Thanksgiving. The family tells us the two were at a bus stop near their home at the time. Investigators say the man driving this gray Nissan Altima was leaving a liquor store around 1:30, and that's when a woman in a silver Infiniti SUV hit the front of his car, lost control, and slammed into the bench at the bus stop. Witnesses stepped in to help after hearing the crash.
I seen a mother laying on the ground, screaming for her baby.
The mother in her 20s died at the scene. Her 9-year-old daughter is in a coma. The man in the Nissan had severe but not life-threatening injuries, while the woman in the SUV only had minor injuries. Police say speed was a factor in that crash. The Macys Thanksgiving parade was disrupted by dozens of people protesting the treatment of Palestinians by Israel. The NYPD says the protests happened at various points along the parade route. Videos posted to the Citizen app appeared to show people waving flags and crossing spectator barricades. And the wind also threatened to blow the parade off course. The Pillsbury Doughboy came a little too close for comfort to the balloon handlers on the street. The wing on the duck from Illumination's Migration hit a tree and deflated. Same thing happened to the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That balloon lost a hand after being pushed by the wind into the trees. Well, it's that time of year where we have to battle those packed parking lots for at least some of our holiday shopping. The I-Team discovered it just isn't the crowds causing problems at one popular Southern California mall, but what some call a confusing policy that's leading to some unexpected parking prices.
If you're looking for snowfall in Los Angeles and a decked-out Christmas tree, the Grove has you covered this holiday season, along with close to 60 shops and restaurants, free rides on a double-decker trolley, even validated parking for 2 hours. But there's a catch.
People are really outraged.
Robin Jones shopped for just over 2 hours, got her ticket validated, and thought she might owe a few bucks.
I went to leave, and it said $15. So I called the box, and I'm like, what's the story? It's $15. I was validated. She goes, oh, no, your validation is void if you're there more than 2 hours.
Have you parked anywhere else where you've experienced a validation that expired?
No, I never have.
A sign by some of the pay stations says it's $5 per hour for each of the first 3 hours, then $2 for each additional 30 minutes. And if you read the sign carefully, you'll also see it does say validation expires when the validation period is exceeded. But Robin thinks the print is too small, and she says it's not clear.
I've never heard of a validation expiring.
And she isn't the only one annoyed by this policy. There are now hundreds of complaints on social media about it.
If I know going in, I'm going to spend a lot, and it's going to cost me $15, okay, I prepare for it. I know it's not a surprise. But when it happens like that, I just think it's wrong.
So we decided to check it out. I made my purchase at Nordstrom. I got my ticket validated for 2 hours, and now I'm going to stay a while.
2 hours, 14 minutes later, it cost me $15 to leave the lot.
Looking at the signage, it's not clear.
Professor Amy Rossi is chair of management at the UCLA Anderson School and an expert in consumer behavior.
This policy is kind of counterintuitive, where you're effectively punishing consumers for staying longer.
While Professor Rossi says the Grove signage likely offers legal protection, she calls it bad policy.
It's a policy that makes consumers unhappy. It's a policy that should make store owners unhappy. It's very myopic.
The I-Team reached out to the Grove, which said in a statement its validation policy hasn't changed since the Grove opened over 20 years ago, and points out rates are visible on signage. Also noting, we offer competitive parking rates consistent with industry standards, which includes validation.
What's unusual about this situation and likely the cause for complaint is their practice of nullifying the validation.
Is this going to change your shopping habits at the Grove?
Definitely. I mean, there's no question. It just feels underhanded, and that's what I don't like. You know what I mean?
She says she'll set the timer on her phone from now on to make sure she gets out of the Grove lot within 2 hours.
And it's important to tell you that expiring validations also apply to other Caruso properties like the Americana in Glendale, something to budget for as you plan for your holiday shopping. Well, the Ducks were serving up turkey in the OC. The Anaheim Ducks help serve Thanksgiving meals to people in need at the We Give Thanks event on Thanksgiving Day. More than 5,000 families from Orange and LA counties made their way to the Honda Center Arena. Volunteers spent 3 days working 18-hour shifts to make these Thanksgiving meals happen. 2,000 pounds of asparagus, 3,000 pounds of mashed potatoes, and 1,000 pounds of rolls accompanying 300 turkeys.
What's it say to you how many people have showed up the need in the community?
It's definitely something that, at least for me, was highlighted during the pandemic, and it's something, the food insecurity in our communities is still present.
The 37th annual feast was founded by Frank Garcia and sponsored by Wells Fargo. And it was turkey served up with laughs in Hollywood as the Laugh Factory served Thanksgiving dinner for the 43rd time. As NBC4's Ted Chen reports, the dinner had special meaning for many of the guests.
How many of you have been with us before?
The Laugh Factory has always served food for the soul and for the stomach. And every Thanksgiving, the long lines and the full house show how Angelenos are very much in need of both. We met a group of diners this year that had 3 SAG-AFTRA strike captains, including Jessica Brown, who told us nearly 4 months on the picket lines with no income wore her down.
The strike, it was intense. It was aggressive mentally and physically, and even though it wasn't my first time getting into advocacy work, it took a different toll.
Brown brought several of her union friends to the dinner and also brought her friend Justice Butler, who told us about her difficult year and the news she recently got from her doctor.
I found out I have actually it's terminal, it's a stage 4 pulmonary sarcoidosis. So I'm dealing with that, no problem. I'm a positive person, and I look at it like this. We all gotta die. I just know that mine might be shorter, so because it's gonna be shorter, I look at this is time for me to build memories.
Helping Butler and all of the diners build memories is Laugh Factory owner Jamie Masada, who without fail hosts the Thanksgiving dinner every year and invites star comedians like Paul Rodriguez and Tiffany Haddish to bring laughter and joy.
I'm really happy to be here with you guys this year.
I come back here every year because I was homeless. I was one of the people receiving meals back in the day, 99, 2000. And to be here now, being of service, full circle, it's amazing, and I'm so grateful and thankful.
I think you'd have to be blind not to know that we have a severe problem with the homeless, and I know the mayor's trying to do something, but the mayor can't do it alone. All of us have to do it together.
Serving one another and building memories in a way that lasts much longer than one meal. In Hollywood, Ted Chen, NBC4 News.
And Beyonce dropped a new trailer for her upcoming concert documentary during the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade. Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, features the singer's journey on the road with plenty of appearances by her family members and even Diana Ross. The film is set to be released December 1st. Tickets are on sale right now at BeyonceFilm.com. And Winterfest OC is back in Costa Mesa. The OC Fair and Event Center has converted into a winter wonderland complete with an outdoor ice skating trail, tubing slide, and snow play area, among lots of other things. Seasonal cocktails, live entertainment, local artisan shops, and plenty of photo opportunities are also available. The event runs through January 7th. Tickets are on sale right now. And as we count our blessings, we're so grateful for you, our viewers, who often stay in touch with us with your good news. And that includes 3-year-old Journey Castillo. She's the toddler who visited all 63 U.S. national parks. Her family reached out to us about something truly awesome that also happened. This was Journey when we first talked to her back in May. At that time, she was only 2 years old, and she had visited a total of 50 parks. Fast forward, now she is 3 years old and has visited all 63 parks, and she got to meet one of her heroes.
This is the North Star for my late father, my daddy, because he's my guiding light. The Big Dipper is the star.
So that is Journey meeting U.S. National Park Director Chuck Sams, and for her, he really is like a real-life action hero. He champions for our environment and all of our beautiful national parks. Now, during their meeting, the director thanked Journey for her love and commitment to the national parks, and he gifted her that special medallion.
He said their mission is to protect and preserve the parks for future generations, and she represents that. And so he said, thank you for doing what you're doing. So he thanked us.
The entire family, what great ambassadors. By the way, Journey's favorite national parks, she tells us, are in Alaska, because that's where she got to see bears. You know what? Speaking of bears, we all know the warning. Do not leave food in your car in an area with bears. Well, someone in Colorado is learning that lesson the hard way. The Colorado wildlife officer had to free and then try to shoo away that big bear that got stuck in the vehicle. Wildlife officials say the bear smelled a bag of peanut M&Ms in the car. And the bear went in there and destroyed the seats and even ripped up the dashboard in its little adventure. Thankfully, though, no one was hurt, but fixing all that damage, well, that is a different story. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and on our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune in to Today in LA on NBC4 weekdays from 4 until 7 a.m. We'll be bringing you all the day's headlines. Thanks for watching The Rundown.